Always up. We have wares that may interest you. Will there be anything else? Please, take care.
Over here. Oh, it's you. I understand you work for Katsu now. That being the case, there's a duty I would have you perform. As a servant of the shogunate, Katsu is my subordinate. As his subordinate, that makes you my subordinate by extension. The duty in question is the protection of the shogunate vassals. Following the purge, resentment towards the shogunate has continued to grow. And of late, I've been feeling uneasy. Without definite proof of a threat, however, I can't set people to work. Thus, I would turn to you for help. If you have any other questions, I'd be glad to answer them. I wish I did, but I can't say anything for certain. I'd be happy if it turns out it was all in my mind. So, will you do it? Will you protect our retainers? Wonderful. I can see why Katsu places his trust in you. If something were to happen, it would be after everyone has left the castle. You may stand by in the area till then. It appears I was right to feel uneasy. Katsu's escort has not returned. Deishu Takahashi. He's a warrior of great skill, and I like to think there's no need to worry. Still, we can't afford to lose Katsu. Not now, of all times. I will come with you. Whatever is happening, I wish to see with my own eyes. If it's dangerous, then I trust you to protect me. I have made my decision. Let's be on our way. But my dress is not suited for the rains. I'm afraid you'll have to give me a lift. Let's go. The last time I rode like this, I must have been with my stepfather. Katsu was assaulted at the fireworks display on the Sumida River. He ought to have been more careful. He is a true patriot, you know? We must protect such people at all costs. I figured there'd be bandits along the way.
Those Shogunate cowards are massing together to make us stand.
Don't mind me. Help Katsu!
You're here! Unfortunate.
I cut down all those who side with the Shogunate! No, not like this! I have to do this for him!
I feared the worst for a moment there. Sorry for the hassle. You're from Satsuma, aren't you?
What if I am?
Well, well, this is quite the predicament. If she were to find out about this...
It seems the situation is under control. I'm glad both you and Takahashi are safe. As for the villain... What? Nakamura?
Princess! What are you doing here?
I should ask you that. With Lord I's death, Satsuma should have made peace with the Shogunate. Yet, here you are making trouble.
With all due respect, I think that's a mistake. The Shogunate should not have opened up Japan. It isn't fit to rule. Mr. Saigo would surely say the same.
Imbecile! The Saigo I knew would never think of doing something so foolish as attacking Katsu! I won't listen to any more of this nonsense. You'll be dealt with later. Now be gone from my sight! Forgive me. It's just... I wasn't expecting to see a familiar face. Of late, I had been feeling that something was amiss at the residence. In hindsight, that must have been the source of my unease. The blame for this incident lies with the Satsuma. We've caused a great deal of trouble, and for that, I apologize. enjoyed riding with you. I look forward to the opportunity to share a horse again.
So, as to what happens next, it'd cause complications with the Satsuma if we punished Nakamura. I believe it'd be best to simply pretend none of this happened.
As you say. My thanks, Katsu. I must thank you as well. Your service will not go unrewarded.
Ah, it's you. You needed to talk to me about something? How thoughtful! Sure, speak your mind. Reflexively drawing one's sword is the preserve of fools. You have to think through the consequences before you make the decision to escalate. You know, I was once enamored of the romantic notion of the samurai, living life by the blade. But that time is past. Somehow I've gone up in the world and have to live by its stuffy rules instead. But you, as a Ronin, you can decide whether or not to draw your sword. I have to admit, I'm a little envious. Who's been spreading rumors about me? Guess I can't hide anything from you. While I love to watch boats go by, being aboard one, bobbing about in the water, that's a whole different matter. When we fought on that boat, I honestly felt so sick I thought I was going to give up the ghost there and then. But you wouldn't have known it to look at me, would you? I'm an Edo boy, through and through. We can grin and bear anything. Why, it's gotta be grilled eel. That tantalizing aroma, the sweetness of the rich glaze. It's the quintessential Edo dish. Other than that, I can't resist a sweet treat. Like dumplings filled with sweet bean paste and mochi. Oh, but I truly love foreign confections. I don't have them too often, but I tell you, they taste simply out of this world. You know what I thought when I first tried them? We need to whip Japan into shape if we want to measure up to the countries who make those things. And that's when I knew I had to reform the shogunate. Just kidding. If you say so. Is that all? See you then.
Oh, you rounded up any fugitives? Best of luck out there.
Huh? Ah, perfect timing. Katsu says dinner is on him. He wants to thank us for all the work we've done. And to be honest, I still have a lot of questions for him. Well, care to join us? Excellent. Let's be on our way then.
Ah, you're here.
So, where are we off to, Katsu? I'm looking forward to this.
I'm afraid my invitation was merely a pretext to ask another favor of you. Mind if we discuss the matter over our meal? Thanks. You can be sure I'll pay you back for this. Everyone good with my usual haunt? Busy as we've been, I haven't eaten there in a while. At long last, the Shogunate fleet's taking shape. Even the crew's beginning to look the part. The hardest part's yet to come, though. And I'll be counting on your help in the days ahead. There's no shortage of those who say the Shogunate can't be trusted. Hence all these divine punishments. Have you heard? People are taking it upon themselves to punish those who deal with foreigners. Damn fools. They ought to try sinking the black ships that started it all.
Ryoma! What are you doing here?
Izo? Ah, I didn't realize you were on duty today.
By your confusion, I'll take it you're out of the loop. On Ryoma's recommendation, I've hired Izo as my bodyguard. Speaking of which, where the hell have you been? Well, now that you're here, you can come along for a meal with us.
Well, what do you think, Izo? Katsu has real vision, doesn't he? Bet he taught you a thing or two.
Indeed, he's a great man. You know, he didn't come from money, had no pedigree, but you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone with a mind as shrewd or judgment as keen. And yet he treats everyone as his equal, even the lowly people like me. I can't help but feel that if he were to take the reins, the Shogunate would regain its former glory.
Have you lost your mind?
Ryoma must have me. Katsu must die. We must do the deed right now. Go against me, I'll kill you too. The only way to save our country is to bring down the Shogunate. What am I doing?
Why are you doing this, Izo? I thought you to know, Katsu, but finally open your eyes!
Your message will get us nowhere! It's a waste of time! My way is the only way! You've taken Master Shoin's legacy and trampled all over it. You'd better pray we don't meet again. Shogunate dogs.
There he goes. Ryoma, for better or worse, Izo sees things in black and white. He's beyond my help. He's convinced that because some officials are responsible for the people's suffering, simply killing the right men in power will fix everything.
So, nothing's changed since we were in Yokohama.
I had a feeling Izo was going to turn on me before long. I had thought Ryoma was the only one who could reach him. I didn't think I had much of a choice. I mean, I'm not planning on dying just yet. Sorry, let's do dinner another day. And I really am going to make this up to you.
Izo's got Master Shoin's teachings all wrong. I thought maybe if he talked to Katsu, he'd quickly realize his mistake. Talking to you always makes me feel better. But I just can't look the other way. It's clear we have to do something about Izo. Far too much blood will be spilled if we leave him be.
Come, come. If you have business, then let's hear it. I'm well pleased. Well now, it seems we have like minds. I was just thinking of asking you the very same. Since saying that I wanted to speak with you, we haven't had the chance. You remember that time, I trust. It wasn't my intention to pry into your past then. But at the very least, I thought I could get a name. You're not given to conversation, it seems. Careful with the clumsy jokes now, especially if you're not good with words. This, I say as someone who was once like you. I spoke in Satsuma dialect, you see, and it made me self-conscious. Be it our position, our birth, or our hearts. No matter how we try to behave, there's always something binding us. You should understand this well enough. Now, I won't ask you further about your origins. But am I correct in assuming you've never had a cat or a dog? Delightful creatures both. Adorable and sweet. They snuggle up to you without asking complicated questions. It seems we're quite alike, you and I. If you have the chance, it'd do you good to try caring for them. I'm reminded of the darling chin I used to have. With that, I didn't have to let him go. But that's enough about me. It's your turn to talk about yourself for a change. If you have business, then let's hear it. Let's hear it then. I am. I was born into a branch family of the Shimazu. When the talk of marriage arose, I was adopted into the head house. As a young girl, I thought that I would take a local man for a husband and bear his children. That I would grow old and die in Satsuma. Truly, there's no telling what the future holds. What can I say? I've loved cats and such creatures since I was little. I had another cat before Princess Sato, but sadly, she passed away. Even now, I think of her often. She and Princess Sato are irreplaceable to me. They are my treasures, the children I do not have. Yes, that's a fine idea. It might help me feel better. Let's take a little walk. Come with me. The disgrace of it all. I still can't believe that the villain would turn out to be someone from Satsuma. Right now, Japan is faced with an unprecedented crisis. Now, most of all, we must join hands and stand together in common cause. We can't hope to survive if we fight among ourselves like this. Like me, Nakamura wants to change Japan for the better. We merely envision different ways of achieving that goal. As someone who shares the same homeland, I want to believe this. I consider it my mission to bring disparate factions together. But no matter what I do, how much I give, it isn't enough. I can't reach them. So not a word out of you after all. When you stand there in that unflappable way, I feel foolish for letting my frustrations get the better of me. Times like this, it's best to take your mind off your troubles by eating. Tell me, do you like sweets? Excellent, excellent. Well, we really have like minds, you and I. I thought I'd make simmered sweet potato, you see? And I like to treat you, by way of an apology for making you listen to my grumbling. If you have business, then let's hear it. That is all. You may go.
How do you do? What is it this time? How splendid. All right. Out with it. So, that's how you see me, eh? I suppose we could chalk it up to the times we live in. There are so many challenges vying for one's attention. Hence my constant need for a pipe. I well know tobacco to be an indulgence, but the day I stop smoking it is the day I end up looking more severe than ever. Indeed. We've been friends since childhood. And though he is 3 years my senior, we pretty much grew up together. I come from a poor family and have endured much hardship. That I am alive today is thanks to Saigo. We may not agree on everything, but we share a deep bond of mutual trust. One might say, he is the other part of me. Princess Atsuko was adopted by Lord Shimazu at the age of 17. Since then, she has lived to carry out the duties assigned to her. Immured within the inner sanctum of Edo Castle, she has had to wage a lonely fight for government reform. And her sole consolation is that feline, which perhaps explains the inordinate amount of affection she showers upon it. I see. That concludes business.
Who are you? Why are you here? I see we share the same goal. But unfortunately, now is not the time. Katsu? Ah, the Shogun's man. But look, I need to attend to my own business before we can talk. Simply chatting won't help matters. But since there's nobody else I can ask, I might as well share. Ine Kusumoto. I studied Western medicine, and I'm researching a cure for cholera here. Those suffering with the disease cannot be ignored. But I am yet to see much in the way of success. I've been trying to make medicine, but it all turned out to be poison. And a deadly one to boot. It needs to be properly sealed in a container, or poison gas will escape. The anti-shogunate folks heard about it somewhere, and came to ask me how to make it. They're up to no good, I'm certain. And they've been haranguing me in my lab ever since. All of my colleagues were terrified, and ran off. They sent me a threat this morning. They're planning an attack. But I can't just turn my back and flee. I have to protect my lab. Truly? Okay, please. That's wonderful news. They're planning to strike when the sun sets. Are you ready? The gates are blockaded, so it will take time for them to get in, which means they'll likely approach from the rear. I'm counting on you. But please, take care of yourself. They're here. Whatever it takes. We can't let them destroy the lab. There are jars of poison in the garden. Try throwing them at the intruders.
Bodyguard have you. Cheek. No. 出たな。
There's more.
Thought so.
Be careful.
Going to die.
Don't rush. Take your time. Very well. Is that all? Thanks for your patronage.
Please, Dr. Kusamoto, you must help us take...
Please, make these people leave!
You, by the looks of it, you're not with us this
We'll have to knock some sense into you!
There's poison there. Let me help!
I hope you're prepared for some pain!
Hey! You're not looking so good!
Then that to stop me! You're going to die! That's enough for today, I think. I'll be going.
Thank you so much. I am truly grateful to you. Now I can finally go back to studying cures for cholera. Could I ask another favor? Would you be so kind as to track down Dr. Narasaki? He was rounded up during the recent purge, and he's still in custody. I heard he had just come up with a concoction that eased the symptoms of cholera. I have my work cut out rebuilding this medical facility. In the meantime, I would very much like you to speak to him for me. Please do this for me. And if ever you need anything, you know where to find me. What about? Oh, this is really lovely. What is it? Oh, I'm not sure I can answer that question. Even in my earliest memories, he'd already been forced out of the country. So I don't remember anything about him, nor have I ever particularly missed him. When I grew older and studied medicine, I began to respect him. But as a doctor, not a father. Oh, all right. I have nothing more to say.
Forgive me my intrusion.
So we meet again. You got me figured out. Well? See you around.
You needed to talk to me about something? How thoughtful! If you say so. Don't work too hard.
you.